Hi, I'm Tommy Piglia, and I'm going to talk about the increased utilization of remote work and how it affects globalization. One thing that was prevalent during the coronavirus pandemic quarantine was companies allowing their employees to work remotely. The quarantine period gave many companies across the world a chance to give remote working a test run. For me personally, I worked from my home office from March 2020 until the first week of July a few weeks ago. On a larger scale, the globalization of goods has been going on since the steam engine was invented in the 1850s. Goods are easily manufactured in one part of the world and distributed internationally. Services, however, have been more difficult to export, as many services require in person on site work. In 2020, goods represented 75% of total global exports, while services only represented 25%. With digitization becoming more prevalent in the workforce, the ability to export services to different parts of the world has become much easier, and it will change the way we view services all around. Today, I'm going to talk to you about some survey results around remote work, the factors that allow remote work to be a driving force of globalization, and how remote work will improve the world's ability to do international business. So, first, I'd like to talk about a survey that I found while researching this topic. In July 2020, PwC held a CEO panel survey, which they surveyed 699 CEOs on emerging business models and key trends resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. The two key themes that came from the survey participants when asked about business model shifts post pandemic are: first, CEOs plan to make their companies more digital and virtual. They will digitize core business operations and processes and add digital products and services. And secondly, CEOs plan to develop a more flexible and employee oriented workforce. They will increase the share of remote or contingent workers and expand employee health, safety, and wellness programs. As you can see on the chart on the slide, the CEOs were told to rank their three highest priorities from the options listed. The top four responses all relate to shifting towards becoming a more digital and virtual, as well as focusing on becoming a more flexible and employee oriented workforce. All of these priorities can lead to a larger shift in remote work. Next, I'd like to quickly talk about three main factors that will allow remote work to be a globally accepted means of doing business. The first is new technology for broadband internet and tools. With the advances of technology such as 5G internet, video conferencing such as Zoom and Skype, and instant messaging, many service jobs can be delivered remotely that rivals the quality of on-site jobs. For me personally, I was able to have meetings for an entire year from my home office without having to go sit in traffic and park at different sites. Could even meet somewhat face-to-face with the use of video conferencing. The second factor is that global culture has shifted. With the use of social medias, world travel, and product globalization, many cultures across the world are mixed together. For example, European countries are more aware of the American culture and vice versa now more than ever before. As different cultures are more aware and understanding of others, communication barriers will lessen and remote work can increase. And finally, the English language is becoming more common than before. There are currently 1.5 billion English speakers worldwide, which is 20% of the world. Having a common language allows for more international business. And finally, I'd like to talk about how remote work will enhance our ability to do international business. The first reason is that it reduces costs by allowing companies to offer service on site without actually being on site. I'll give you an example to explain this one. Think of a Canadian consulting team being contracted to a company here in New Orleans. Their project will likely last 4 business weeks, so 20 days. 17 of these days can be completed remotely, but 3 of the days would have to be done face to face. Let's say the company's fee is $3,000. In a world without remote work, the company would have to fly to New Orleans and book hotel rooms for their stay, which would probably cost around $1,500. So even though they can complete the majority of the work remotely, they cut their profit in half because they have to travel down to New Orleans. In a scenario where remote work is available, this company can hold their introduction and exit meetings on Zoom or other video conferencing and save the money that they would spend to travel. So the first reason is that it can reduce costs for many companies across the world. Secondly, it intensifies the competition for talent in developing markets. Companies will no longer have to pay top skilled individuals to relocate to large cities where they're headquartered. Highly skilled individuals can stay in their home countries and get paid to do the same jobs as other people who have the benefit of already being in a developed city or country. This benefits both the companies and individuals looking to be employed. Companies will be able to pay talent their fair rate rather than accounting for cost of living in large cities, and individuals in developing markets can be paid what they're worth. Finally, remote work will bridge the pay gap. Somebody working a consulting job in San Francisco may make 2 times the amount of money as somebody working the same job in a non-developed country, solely because it costs more to live in San Francisco. It has nothing to do with the person in San Francisco doing a better job. It's simply geographical. The ability to pay, the ability to work remotely will lead to companies paying the same for people in smaller markets as people in larger markets. So these are the reasons why remote work will benefit society as a whole. The COVID pandemic paved the path to allow international companies to shift towards remote work. I think we'll see the shift in that direction become more prevalent in the next few years. So thank you for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions.